Hey, sports fans. Welcome back to the channel. Chi-Town Collector here. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. Had a great New Year's. I'm excited. My Iowa Hawkeyes got a great bowl victory over a top 15 team in Vanderbilt. Both men's and women's basketball came out with a W. And somehow, after a not so stellar outing, my Chicago Bears were able to wrap up the 2 seed today. So we get to face that dreaded green and yellow team once again in the postseason. However it works, I'll enjoy some postseason football for my Bears for the first time in a while. So the reason for this episode, I mentioned in my first one that I would share my 2025 pickups in further episodes. So today I'm going to share 15, 20 of my favorite pickups from 2025. No specific order, no value, really high value, low value. It was just my way to get in to the vintage market. A lot of beaters, low grade cards, but it was my way of being able to get into vintage. So I'll share some of those with you. A couple other sets that I was able to start on in 2025 on the vintage side of life. I'll share those in a later episode, but today I'm just going to share my favorite pickups from 2025, and we'll go from there. So let me turn this camera around, and I will share a few with you. All right, let's start with a few of my pickups from 2025. First off, I have a 1950 Bowman Robin Roberts. As you can see, the condition's not great, but it was a 1950 Bowman, so it was pretty cool to add to the collection. So, first one, Robin Roberts, 1950 Bowman. Second one, I have a 1952 Bowman Monty Irvin. Again, another one not in great shape. Monty Irvin later played for the Cubs, so it was one that I enjoyed adding to the collection. Also, the early Bowman cards are just so cool, in my opinion, with the artwork. Third one is a 1933 Gowdy Kai Kyler. Condition is similar to the first two, but just to be able to have a card of this type of set and a Chicago Cub, I was happy to add it to my collection. The next one is definitely a beater, but it's a 1960 Topps Warren Spahn. I really love the 1960s cards from Topps. Next is the only Mickey Mantle in my set, and unfortunately, probably the only Mickey Mantle that I will have for some time. It is the 1962 Topps Home Run Leaders with Roger Maris, Mickey Mantle, and Harmon Killebrew. Like I said, probably my only Mickey Mantle for a while, but it was nice to at least be able to say I have a Mickey Mantle in my collection. Next kind of starts my Cubs runs. This is a 1961 Topps rookie card of Billy Williams. There's a small spot up here towards the top. Otherwise, it's a very clean, raw card. And of course, it is a great addition to the Cubs collection. Next, I have a 1961 Topps Ron Santo rookie card. Also raw, but also in really great shape. Even pretty good centering. A lot of the older Topps cards definitely had issues with the centering. So I was happy to be able to get both of these in pretty decent centers. Somewhat generous corners, but pretty square for the most part. Sticking with the Cubs rookies, I have a 1966 Topps Fergie Jenkins. Very clean card, off cut a little. The colors, everything are just really crisp on the card other than that. So 1966 Topps Fergie Jenkins rookie. Next, I have my all-time favorite Cub, 1977 Topps Andre Dawson rookie. Again, raw, but in great shape. Centering was good. Next, I have a 1960 Topps Ernie Banks. Very clean card here in raw form again. And as you will see often with my collection, plenty of Chicago athletes added to start my vintage journey. So a 1960 Topps Ernie Banks. The next two are both 1959 Topps. This is a 1959 Topps Ernie Banks Baseball Thrills. Just, again, very cool cards for the age. Little crease on the top side of this one, but other than that, just a really cool card. Next one is the 1959 Topps as well. This is the Cubs Clubbers. Ernie Banks on this card as well. All right, the next ones will start a few of my graded cards that I was able to pick up. This is a 1943 MP and Company hand cut Stan Hack. So I really started to kind of follow the oddball vintage cards, and that's kind of where I got the theme of these. There are tons of these hand cut cards that make it a little bit easier to get into, say, a Hall of Famer or a 1940s pre-war kind of card. So this is my 1943 MP and Company Stan Hack. Next is a 1953 Bowman Color of Hank Sauer. I did not have this card graded. I don't know for sure why anyone did. Obviously tons of creasing across the middle, but I was able to pay less, far less than even the grading on this card, so that's the reason why it's in my collection, as well as Hank Sauer being a great Chicago Cub. Next, I have a 1965 Topps Embossed. I know not everybody loves these, but it was an Ernie Banks, so I definitely had to add it to the collection. And I feel like it's just a really cool card. They get damaged very easy, so I can see why there's not a huge desire for these cards. But this is one of the sets that I feel like I may try to work on just entirely. It's not a huge set, and it's packed full of Hall of Famers. So 1965 Topps Embossed Ernie Banks. Next starts my T206 collection for the Chicago Cubs. This is a Dell Howard. Not in great shape, but the fact that these are tobacco cards from the early 1900s just blows my mind that they came in a pack of cigarettes and people kept them. This has a sweet cap back. So this is the first addition to my T206s for the Chicago Cubs. There are roughly 36, I think, Cubs in the T206 collection that I would like to obtain all of. However, you have some big name Hall of Famers and Three Finger Brown and Tinker, Evers, Chance, some of those. So the second one of my T206s is Tom Needham. This is also a sweet cap back. And another one of my T206s would be Jimmy Sheckard. This one has a Piedmont back. Again, like I said, it just astonishes me that these held up how they did. Of course, we all wish we had the Honus Wagner sitting in our closet somewhere. And the last of the T206s is my Pat Moran. This one's probably the crispest one that I have out of all of them. Just very good coloring still, too. And this one also is a Piedmont. And the last two, I'm going to move the camera for you. These are from the 1947 to 1966 exhibit. These are some oversized cards, just really cool cards in my opinion. The first one I have for you is the Hank Aaron. Some of these had stat backs. This one is a blank back. But 1947 and 1966, Hank Aaron. And the last one I have for you, which is probably my biggest and favorite addition, would be the 1947 to 66 exhibit, Jackie Robinson. This one too has a little bit of writing on the back as the reason for the grade, because it is a very clean card and probably my only way early on in my vintage journey to get into a Jackie Robinson card. So that's all I have for you this time. Thanks for tuning in, and I will be back to share some more another time.